Alrighty, we have One Piece chapter 1045. It is titled Next Level. Let's talk about it. We didn't have a cover story this week. I believe that they're promoting a food truck this week, and we got the beautiful color cover spread, but we're not going to talk about that here. That'll be for the breakdown, which we would do on Sunday. I'm going to start doing those. So let's get into my initial thoughts. Originally, Kaido, like all of us, thought Luffy was dead. Well, I guess not really all of us. We all know that this is a story of how Luffy became the Pirate King, so he won't die until he becomes the Pirate King. Who knows after that? But Kaido, he talks about Luffy, his awakening, and talks about how it's like his awakening's Paramecia, like Katakuri, like Doflamingo. He's making the area around him bouncy because Luffy is bouncing on the rocks above. However, his transformation, it's almost zoan-like, which he hit it the nail in the head. Kind of like how we assumed the Gumma Gumma no Mi was Luffy's true devil fruit, so we thought it was a Paramecia. And no, he has the Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika. And so we can, I guess you could say, it's like Luffy's gears are kind of like zone transformations, the different ones, and then his awakening, you could say, is like a Paramecia's, which allows Luffy to change everything to rubber. That's pretty cool. I know one thing, this chapter has gotten a lot of criticism. I've seen people either love it, people either hate it, or people who don't really know how they stand, because in this chapter, the way that Luffy fought Kaido, it was really goofy. And with the war atmosphere, everything that we've been leading up to Punk Hazard, with Odin, with the Kazuki, everybody taking it so serious, with this fight, it kind of seems like not as serious as Roof Piece, or not as serious when Luffy and Kaido, they're about to clash, and when the fire is interrupted. It seems goofy, but me, overall, I'm going to tell you, I kind of liked it. We start out with Luffy going in on Kaido, and he is engulfed as Kaido swallows him. This isn't the first time Luffy's been eaten by Kaido. And so with this time, Luffy, he turns into, he says Gumma Gumma no Balloon. And I was really concerned. Well, I wasn't concerned, but I wanted to know how Luffy would name his attacks after this with his new devil fruit. Or it's not really new, but it's updated devil fruit. But he still calls it Gumma Gumma no. So he ends up turning Kaido into this balloon. And because he talks about, Kaido's like, well, I know you're rubber, but why am I rubber? Because Kaido started floating in the air. And then I love this interaction with Yamato. Yamato looks, she's like, wait, did Kaido, is this another form? Did he put on a little weight? He's looking a little chunky, right? Kaido's a little chunky boy in this instance. And so Luffy is kind of fighting Kaido from the inside, where he's like, hey, I noticed these two eye holes, or these two beams of light, and it's Kaido's eyes. So then Luffy, he stretches his arms through Kaido's eyeballs, turning his eyeballs into rubber. Kaido screams, and he grabs the nose, and Luffy Gum Gum rockets outside of Kaido. So he has the ability, we know the awakening, to touch objects, but he can even affect people in turning them into rubber. And during this chapter, I guess it confirms that Luffy has the power of a cartoon character, because I believe Kaido said something along the lines of this is something straight out of a kid's picture book, because as soon as Luffy let out of Kaido, he let out the air that he sucked up from, whenever he uses the balloon, and then he had so much air that it sent him into the sky. And we got this beautiful panel of Luffy coming out from the sky as a giant. We know that with Gear 3rd, he was able to put different parts of his body in the form of a giant, but now he's able to do his whole body. And the color version, it confirms, because I was a little bit skeptical about how visually appealing Joy Boy Luffy was, but I will say, because it looked kind of like a mixture between KCM Naruto and Super Saiyan, I'm like, okay, this is not really original. But no, the form that Joy Boy Luffy has is he has white hair, his clothes is white, but he has like a gold outline, or a gold steam coming out of him. So I think it looks pretty dope. Luffy, he goes and he kicks Kaido with his giant form, and then Kaido, he hits him with a blast breath, where Luffy, he gets burnt and he's coming down, and he like shakes off the burntness that he has, just like a cartoon character. He's in mid-air, mind you, and he runs back to Onigashima to go and finish Kaido. To mention, Luffy's not using Skywalk. No, he just took off in mid-air. So Luffy can walk on air or run on air. That's interesting. And the reason why I'm saying that's interesting is because with Gear 4th, we know Luffy has a time limit. However, he can still compress his body, and it allows him to fly. So him running on air, he doesn't necessarily need gear force to do that. Kaido hits Luffy with a Ragnarok, and that sends him down to the sky floor. He stretches his head, his eyes are popping out, and everybody's reaction is priceless. Everybody, their eyes are popping out as well. I really don't like Law and Kid doing it. I think that's weird, but at the same time, in chapter 1001, they all reacted the same way with Luffy. So hey, I guess Luffy just has that influence on him. And then Luffy comes up, he's talking about how he's going to beat Kaido, and that he's far from done. However, he gets out of his Joy Boy or Gear 5th form, and his hair turns back black, and he looks like an old guy. And Luffy, it looks like he's very exhausted. And then Kaido, he mentions something along the lines of, hey, this war that you fought in, everybody will know, you did a good job. This will go through the world. And Luffy's like, well, shut up. When you're dead, only sticks and stones stick around. And so he's like, I need this power to come back. He's like, we're not done yet. For Odin, well, no, he didn't say Odin, but he says Tama, I believe, Momo, Kiyomon, and he even says Pedro, because Pedro did allow them to make it this far, which I love. And so Luffy, he powers back up saying he's not done. And I like the fact they say that Luffy's voice changed when I guess Momonosuke, him using, I don't know if the voice of all things or if it's observation hockey, but he mentions that Luffy, when he's in his Gear 5th form, he's different, and he seems like a different person than when he's in his regular form. And I also want to mention that Luffy, he used Kaido, the world's strongest creature, as a jump rope earlier. I forgot to mention that. And like, Luffy in this form is just broken. He, like, Kaido uses his club, which has spikes on it. We know that Luffy has a hard time, and whenever sharp objects are happening, Luffy tries to avoid them. But Kaido hit him in the face with the spike, and Luffy's rubber body like penetrated the club. So I mean, I know that his awakening, it says it strengthens his rubber body, but it looks like Luffy can't get damage when it comes to these these attacks anymore. And let me not say he can't get hurt, but it looks like they don't do as much damage as before. I mean, look at Arlong Park. When Arlong bit into him, we saw Luffy bleeding out. When Hody Jones like bit into him as well, he was bleeding out. So maybe Luffy doesn't get affected the same way anymore, which is pretty cool. Luffy, he's broken. He's the sun god, Nika. Don't get too carried away with that. But the last thing with the chapter is Luffy, he punches Kaido, and his fist appears to go through his face. And the reason why I'm saying that I think Luffy is stretching, we saw earlier where he put his hands through Kaido's eyeballs. The reason why I'm saying he's stretching his opponents is because if he were to put his hands through Kaido's eyes, his eyes would be gone. And if he would have punched through Kaido's skull, then his brain would be gone and Kaido would be dead. So maybe that is what's going on. And so Luffy said he's having a good time, Kaido, and that he's bullying Kaido. I want to see what happens next chapter. We don't have a break. Kaido's probably going to have his awakening, or he's going to fire back at Luffy. Probably Wano's going to end sometime this year. I'd say if I was a betting man, it will probably end. Depending on breaks, I'd say probably about September. I think this was a pretty decent chapter. I enjoy this goofy Luffy because I feel like that's just him, his personality, being the freest person in the world. He always came up with different types of techniques, so I don't have a problem with it. I just think maybe it's something we got to get used to. Maybe the war atmosphere wasn't the best way to demonstrate this type of power, but I think it is what it is. I'm pretty excited about what he has in store, and hopefully this is all he'll do. I hope Oda becomes more creative when he fights against Blackbeard, potentially Emu, Akainu, etc. But that's it for chapter 1045. Like I said, there's no chapter break next week, so I'm excited what's going to happen. I really want to see what happens with Zoro. Where's he at? We finally got to see Sanji, so I'm pretty happy about that in the last chapter. But it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, the notification so you guys never miss out a new video from me. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok is on the screen in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.